Hello everyone and welcome to the fourth testing session of the Sundrop Cup Series here at the Dover International Speedway. And just like the last few SDCS tests, we also have a co-commentator in the booth. I want to welcome Jay to the booth. Obviously, that's jokes. Here we are for Dover, out here driving it for these 30 minutes around the 1 mile oval. You got a bunch of guys coming out here, 23 drivers out on the track. And Carter Friesen, we'll start off with him in that 85 as he makes his cycle around the course. Coming on up, I believe he will be the first one getting some laps in, maybe him or Colton Yeo. But I guess we will start with Colton Yeo, as he is one of the few drivers that has not participated in a Cup Series test yet, for TSR at least. He drove the first one for HBP earlier. I believe that was the first test of the off-season for the SDCS. But the 28 of Colton Yeo, he's driving in the Mountain Dew Custom Series for Texas Star Racing in the number 48. He will be driving that car full-time. That has had already one championship in it 2 years ago with Jake Galloway. But this part-time 28 with Colton Yeo this weekend, looking to get some good times on the board, as their team owner Jefferson has already put it up to the top of the charts. 4/10 faster than Diego Yepes, but Colton Yeo now jumps up to second with a 22.3. So for that TSR number 28, it's been getting some good upgrades through all these tests. They've entered every test so far, because TSR is pretty much rolling in money, or was rolling in money until they lost a lot in the auctions. But Colton Yeo out here in this 28 making his laps, as he is third quickest now, as Diego Yepes has put himself in between Jay and them as well. Carter Friesen, if we can find him once again, he's jumped up to second quickest on the charts there for Monster Motorsports. So we've really seen it. Diego Yepes, geez, the times are swapping real quick, as Yepes puts it as the fastest driver. He has not driven for a competitive team in a year. Of course, his last time in a competitive equipment was with Monster Motorsports' number 77 back in season number 4. I believe it was Diego Yepes Incorporated then. But he's back in the 77 now for Butcher Gatorade Motorsports with all the equipment on equal ground. He's up there, but now he's already 6th quickest, as Colton Yeo puts down a monster lap in the 28, a 21.9, as he's about to wreck Tim Foster there. I think there was some contact getting into the corners. They got sideways there, and that's some contact there. Now the 82 of Jacob Edson has gone up to the top of the charts. What does it matter? We'll just watch as everyone starts beating each other in lap times with a 21.911. It's Jacob Edson to the top of the charts. Now you got Jay Jefferson all over the back of Cody Goforth. That's some contact there, as we got a big pack of cars right here with Matty Porta, Carson Bowers, Diego Yepes, Gatlin Downey, Cody Goforth, Jay Jefferson, and it looks like Stephen Wallace Jr. has pulled himself down pit road. So these guys trying to get some skill out there racing on this track. But one thing about Matty Porta, he is the most recent Top Series winner here at Dover. Of course, we had Dover last season in the DPDS, but we drove here in Season 1 and Season 2. Kalen Nosler, Matty Porta, the two race winners from there. Nosler not in the Cup Series. For the first time, he will not be in the Top Series division, making starts in his career. So no word on what Nosler's future holds for the NSDCA. But Matty Porta in this 20, of course, his one and only win in the NSDCA, coming here at Dover in season number 2 when he drove for Jones Racing Inc., I believe, in his number 20. His only career win is coming at Oval. Those road courses still trying to get that first win at. But as we continue around, here's one driver who has been in the tests, but first time on Reed Racing. That is Nicky Morris, driving this number 1 this week. Nicky, of course, drives the number 7 JRL Racing Cup car for a handful of races this season. That is his own team, but he might be making a couple starts with Reed Racing as well. He is the full-time Mountain Dew Custom Series driver for Reed Racing in the number 1 down there. And one of 9 drivers in this field who have never driven at Dover. So Nicky Morris, one of 9 drivers in the field who have not driven at Dover. The other ones being Vince Freeze, DJ Curtis, Cody Goforth, Colton Yeo, Tim Foster, surprisingly, Stephen Wallace Jr., Alex Fletcher, and Dusty Neal. However, for Larry Hagan, where you see him right there in that 21, only lapping 13th quickest so far, he has attempted to qualify here, but he DNQ'd that race. So Hagan trying for his first time this season. If we end up going to Dover, he's trying to get that first career start at Dover. But DJ Curtis, some of these guys who came in after season number 2 of the NSDCA, these guys are making their first laps out here, as of course we didn't run at Dover until last season in the DPDS. So Curtis right now 3rd quickest at a track he's never driven before. Nice job right there. And of course, to the top of the charts, no surprise to anyone, is Jay Jefferson in that monstrous Texas Star 48, 21.883 as he tops Jacob Edson's time. So Jefferson looking for yet another testing victory. We'll see how the speeds go, but his race pace, he has to hope that that team can pull off something better than they did last season. TSR has been known for engine failures and mechanical issues. They've caused a lot in the 48, the 84, all the trucks last season suffered some mechanical failures during the season, so they're going to have to hope the reliability department in TSR has improved, because they need it this season, because they have the speed. They just need that endurance that these races will be in the SDCS. Continuing on around, of course, Edson in 2nd. Full-time driver this season, has not driven full-time in, I believe, a year and a half. Right now, Vince Friesen, the 05, he drove the 95 up to the top of the charts at Chicagoland. I don't believe he finished at top of the charts, but he's back in the 05 car this weekend. Aiden Smith at Road America topped the charts for a couple seconds there last time out, but now this 05 team of Vince Friesen, they're fast on the speedways, just hoping that he'll get the speed. 13th quickest right now for that 05 team as they run currently. And Colton Yo's put it up to the top of the charts for a bit. He's up there. There's Patrick Smith making his first start for the Cup car in these testing sessions. Matthew Eves not in the Cup car, in the 47 car. This weekend, I don't know why, but Patrick Smith is in the 47. It's a great opportunity for him to get some experience, because maybe if CFRO gets a part-time car or a research and development R&D car, he could have a couple starts up here. So nice to get some rookies some seat time, especially helping him out in the Mountain Dew Custom Series. Getting some experience up here even helps translate down to the MDCS. Any time in the car is good time in the car. Morris back in the 55. This is the first time the 55 is taken to the track since they crashed two of their test cars at Pocono. He's back now. He drove the 53 last time out at Road America, but now he's up here in the 55 back here. So they're hoping to get some more upgrades to it, but they've already fallen behind. That's 2 tests that they lost chances to get some experience and upgrades on this car. So it's going to be a struggle this season, most likely, for this 55 team. Continuing on around, there's Peter Onjak, Gatlin Downey, Brady Burkhardt coming off a pit road, Matty Porta. It does not seem like, it seems like most of this field are drivers who have ran in tests so far this season, except for the ones we just covered. So may as well just kind of look around, watch some of this. Of course, you got some of the fast guys. Slowest guy on track is Stephen Wallace Jr. right now, but Jay Jefferson tops the charts in that 48 truck, or in that 48 car, I should say. Of course, his career at Dover pretty strong in the inaugural season. He took a top 5. Of course, this was the penultimate race to the season in Season 1 and Season 2 of the Mountain Dew Custom Series, so you had to drive well to get up there. And this is where he gained that points gap on Peter Onjak, was able to take the fight to him heading into Martinsville. Of course, Onjak ended up taking the title at the end of the season, but Jay, he took a 5th here and a 30th in season number 2, hoping that he'll be able to drive well. Very strong on the speedways. 2 wins last season, of course, at Michigan and Atlanta, and of course, one of the fastest cars in the testing session so far with a 21.883. Popping up to the top, we're looking Zachary DeLella. We haven't really talked about during these tests, but he's up here in the top 5 in this number 57. It's great to see Zachary racing out there. Of course, DJ Gibson in the number 53 car was in that incident last season at Talladega. He is still recovering. He's out of the hospital doing his rehab, and will be back in the car hopefully within the first few weeks of the season. That is the plan anyway, but doctors have not cleared him for testing yet, so he will not be in any of the tests. Good thing for Zachary Racing, though, is they have secured a driver for that number 53 car for the first 2 races of the season, and that is, or 2 or 3 races of the season, to help out Zachary Racing while DJ Gibson recovers. That is Logan Bradley, the driver for the 57 truck program. He'll be driving the first few races in the number 53 Cup car for Zachary Racing as they try to get Gibson set up for the season. DeLello, though, a 4th in Season 1 of the Mountain Dew Custom Series. It was a great run here for that team, and a 26th in the second season. So they're trying to get that setup down. 5th fastest so far as they go. But Patrick Smith, it's a great run for him. He's 8th quickest on the board against some of these Cup veterans. That's nice to see him out here making some laps. Of course, Patrick, he drove in the NSDCA Season 1, Season 2, and Season 3, but has been retired Season 4 and Season 5. He's coming back, though. Or no, he drove last season for the 35 team. I forget about that stint because there were so many DNQs in the Mountain Dew Custom Series for GDI in that 35 team. But he has moved over to CFRO, driving in the Mountain Dew Custom Series for that team, I believe in the number 97 Pizza Hut Dodge. And 8th quickest, 9th quickest now, as it looks like Sebastian Kukalon puts it into a 21.897 into 2nd quickest. But Patrick Smith looking for a top 10 here. Could be big for his experience and getting him some seat time. This could be something for CFRO to see. Might have some strength on the speedways here for Patrick Smith. Patrick, of course, has not driven in the NSDCA in a competitive car since Season 2 at Angiato, but that was when Angiato was really down in performance. Since then, they have improved. He has 2 finishes here of 11th in the MDCS, and that was one for his SSC Automotive, number 75, and then his Angiato 75. So not too strong at Dover, but consistent, it looks like, and right now, 9th quickest on the board for CFRO. Bunch of cars down pit road working on that. We'll go ahead and take a look at the driver who just put himself 2nd quickest. That's Sebastian Kukalon. Kukalon's had a rough journey in the NSDCA, and Rockstar Energy Racing only has 1 career win, but none inside the National Series. Of course, it was the DPDS last season. 2 wins with Kyle Corbett, who will be driving in the Mountain Dew Custom Series for the team, as well as a couple truck starts, possibly a cup start. But this 12 car is full-time with Sebastian Kukalon, so we'll have to see about that. But Kukalon's 2nd quickest on the board so far. That's great to see. Ford Performance Racing and Red Bull Motorsports were where he drove in Season 1 and Season number 2 of the NSDCA. 17th and 23rd, and those 2 finishes not too strong at Dover, but putting down some fast lap times out here on the speedway. He must have been testing in the simulator all week to get that fast of a lap time for RER. Great to see there. And as he moves around, Diego Yepes and this pack of drivers, Matty Porta, Colton Yo, Diego Yepes, and you also have Onjak and Stephen Wallace Jr. further behind. Top 10 has not really changed much as Carson Bowers, your defending truck champion, sits on pit road. He's 10th quickest in that number 25. We'll look down the order a little bit. Diego Yepes and Brady Burkhardt up there up top. And Brady's been down pit road multiple times this test. I'm just going to check real quick to see if we have had any mechanical failures, and there it goes right there. Blows up coming off of the corner, and it's an engine failure immediately. That must have been why they've been on pit road. He must have been hearing some vibrations or some clunking, because there goes the motor on the 99 car, and that's heartbreaking, especially after Road America. They crashed out, I believe, 3 cars at Road America, SBR did, so they did not bring Ryan Butcher to this test, and I don't think the 30 either, and now an engine failure on the 99. Heartbreaking for Brady, but must have been down pit road many times for service. You saw him coming off on the apron a lot of times, but that truck, or that car's engine now has expired. He is 12th quickest, so it's not a bad lap time at all, but not very good either. He was 2/10 off of the race leader. Looking down the rest of the grid, you got Cody Goforth in 13th. Goforth, if we can catch up to him. There he is in the Sirius XM sponsored test car, number 27. Cody is one of the drivers who has not driven at Dover, so a 13th run out of 23 is not half bad, especially for NBM and that Chevy program. Last season, though, of course, he drove for Rockstar Energy Racing's number 24. Did not do very well. 15th is his best speedway finish last season, but RER, that's probably a top 10 for how RER was doing last season. They had such a strong start to the season. Downey and Goforth were both edging close to the chase cutoff, and then it just blew up in their face, and they fell, I believe, both outside of the top 20. So heartbreaking there. He moves over to NBM for some cup starts as he bought out his contract at RER for this season, moving over to that team. 14th is Vince Friesen in that 05 truck. He had a very 05 car. He had a very strong run at Chicagoland in the 95. Not so much here. 14th quickest only. Nicky Morris, 15th quickest. That's nice. But some problems for Angiato. Peter Onjak's been on pit road a bit. and I believe he's coming back down. Yeah, he is. So also Peter Onjak and Angiato, they just cannot nail the setup this weekend. Changing tires, they're taking wedge in and out of it, applying tape on these pit stops, and they just cannot get a very fast time. I mean, it's only 0.2 off, but with how equal the cars are, that's not very good to see. Now he is 16th quickest in that number 44 car. 17th quickest Stephen Wallace Jr. as he's pacing around. Of course, due to this happening just about an hour before the road course test for the CRTS guys, he cannot run the CRTS test as well, so he is out here at this racetrack as he's driving around in the number 65 car. 17th quickest only, not very good for SWJ, but he is pacing around smoothly. 18th quickest, Brandon Morris. Of course, he has had an off week at whatever the first test was, the Chicagoland test he was off at. Now back at Dover. 18th quickest, not very strong for him, but he is also coming off of a season where he only ran one race and finished 40th at it. That was at Michigan last season. Morris just hoping that this will be able to be a better season for this 55 team, but not looking too much, not looking like he has too much speed out here. Is Burkhart. They've repaired the engine, got a new engine in that car, so he is back out on track. 19th quickest, Larry Hagan, and surprisingly, Larry has not really shown the speed that his TSR counterparts are showing in these tests. It's been a pretty abysmal testing sessions for this 21 driver. Of course, Larry has skipped over the Truck Series again. He has, I believe, 2 years of Truck Series experience, but none of them with the same team and none of them a full-time schedule. So Larry is just trying to get some experience where he can. His first full-time season with a single team was at TSR last season in the number 28 MDCS car. So that's interesting to see that Larry is in the Cup Series after all that. He's been here since, I believe, season number 2 or season number 3, and he's shown performance. He's had the speed, but he just hasn't had the wins to show for it or the results to show for it. One career win at Road America last season was a feel-good story, but really did not do much outside of that. Only finished, I believe, 6th in the championship, even after the swap to the 48 equipment. So Larry doing his best here, 19th quickest. And Gatlin Downey, it's just a meme at this point. He's been in the bottom of the charts every single testing session, with finishing last twice in the testing sessions. Right now, 20th quickest as Cody Goforth and Patrick Smith are going to both blow right by him. GDI has not had a smooth transition to Dodge after coming off of that Ford season last year with the alliance with Monster Motorsports, then Diego Yepes Incorporated. But Downey just seems very slow at these speedways and just very slow in the Cup car in general. I don't know what's going on with this 35 team, but they're going to have to hope and pray that they can improve. Though here at Dover, he has one race that he's driven at. That was Season 2 Mountain Dew Custom Series. Got a top 5 finish with a 5th place position. It was a great run there for that 35 team, but Downey doing his best that he can. Just does not seem he has any speed in that 35 truck. 35 car. I'm going to mix that up all season. 21st fastest, Alex Fletcher in the 72, making that move over to Smart Motorsports. And I don't believe at the Atlanta test it was very strong. That 02 did not seem to be topping the charts and blowing people out of the water. But Fletcher, a strong driver. He has one win at the Valvoline 200 last season. Moving over to Smart Motorsports, will be driving in all 3 divisions, MDCS, CRTS, and SDCS. It's going to be a busy schedule for the 72 team, hoping that Alex Fletcher could pay off and be their next prospect. Eric Monaco, already a strong driver for Smart Motorsports, the future for that team. Alex Fletcher trying to join up as well and be in that 72. Coming on around, finishing out the group, Dusty Neal in that 94, not having a very strong run right now. There you see him in the South Point colors for that 94 team. Of course, he is CFRO's strongest prospect. They let go Logan Bradley at the end of last season as Neal looked like he was about to drive up and over Diego Yepes. But Dusty Neal only 22nd quickest with a 22.127. Not strong at all, especially being outperformed by a teammate Patrick Smith for this week. Brady also, they put a new engine in it. He's now inside the top 10, 10th quickest. But Dusty Neal very slow. 22.1, they're probably more in a race trim than a qualifying trim like Jay Jefferson and others might be, but a 22.908 as these tires are starting to degrade. 42 laps he's driven so far around here with 10 minutes to go. Of course, it's Dover. It's only a mile. If it takes you 22 seconds to get around, you can get a lot of laps in just 30 minutes, but this 95 car very, very slow currently. And Tib Foster, they are on pit road for the 40 car. 23rd quickest. Of course, he's not really the oval type guy, but they're on pit road trying to get some adjustments in it. Tib not happy in the race car, but it just feels way too tight for that team right now. Going to have to do some more adjustments, trying to get any speed they can out of it. He sits at the bottom of the barrel right now at 22.1. Meanwhile, Jay Jefferson and Sebastian Kukulon's times are the only ones still at a 21.8. Jacob Edson, DJ Curtis, and Colton Yo, the rest of your top 5. Patrick Smith now 7th quickest as he's putting down monstrous lap times for CFRO. It's a great run today for Patrick Smith. It might have been a smart move. Matthew Eves, of course, a super speedway ace, not really on the ovals. He's only won the super speedway races at Talladega, but they're doing great for this 47 team right now. 8th quickest, as I believe Zachary DeLello just moved himself up in there, as well as Vince Friesen now inside the top 5. But Patrick Smith, you got to give it to him. Great runs so far for this 47 team. They're putting down some great lap times. Might be good enough to get Eves some data for these speedway races as they come this season, because those are definitely his weakness with those short tracks. Eves pretty good on road courses, but the super speedways is where he's at. Patrick Smith, a speedway guy, out here in this 47 putting down some good lap times. And Matty Porta, thankfully Sauber Racing Team got that car dialed in for a top 10 run, but still a lot of time left. 8 minutes left. And now, as I just said that, he gets knocked out. I don't know who just moved up there. I think it was Diego Yepes moving back inside the top 10 in that 77. Yes, it is. He just put down a 21.953, moves him to 8th quickest on the grid. Moving around, Larry Hagan actually going to get out of the way of that 05. He must be on a monstrous lap time there in that 05. That is Vince Friesen, of course, rookie prospect for Monster Motorsports. He is driving the NBM car, the number 27 this season for that team. Vince Friesen, of course, one of the drivers who's never driven at Dover. I believe last season was his first year of the NSDCA. I don't remember anything in season 4, but of course that could be that could be just me being old and forgetting things. But Vince Friesen has been putting some great laps down in testing. This could be a great opportunity. If they put him in this 05 car, him and Bobo Jones have both been putting some rocket lap times down for Monster Motorsports. So these guys might be key for Monster Motorsports really improving those two part-time cars, possibly getting them some wins during the season. This is the year you want to get into the SDCS, pop off, because everyone's so equal. Anyone could win these races. It's going to be interesting to see how they will be able to fend off, though, Jay Jefferson. Jacob Edson with some right side or left side damage. We'll go ahead back. That's probably contact with someone, because I don't think he'd hit the inside wall. Yeah, he actually has two sides. Whoa, what was Edson doing here? So he must have hit the wall at some point. We'll go back and see that as well. Something might have gone wrong. They're like 3 wide. He might have been he might have been trying to get to pit road. Yeah, there's no issue for it. He just came down and just hit the wall, and he was still racing. I don't know if he was coming down to pit road or was trying to, or actually had an issue, but he's still driving. There's nothing on the screen, so he must have just been trying to get down to pit road, but that's some damage to the 82 car. And there's a spin, and that is Carter Friesen for Monster Motorsports. They're going to have to split him and go around. Diego Yepes coming on by, not happy at all with that. But Carter Friesen now with some heavy rear-end damage to that 85 car in the closing minutes of testing. And Carson Bauer's also in it. That's not good. So, again, it's the same thing. Carter must have been trying to get down to pit road. He's on the outside of Onjack, and he just misses it. Tries to get down, misses entering, hits the wall, back up, and Carson Bauer's just nowhere to go. Smashes in. Heavy hit for Carson. Friesen spinning around. Jay, oh my gosh, look at the save that Jay Jefferson just had. Tib Foster narrowly misses it. Everyone else getting through. So I don't know if these guys are, if there's oil on the track or what is happening down there to cause this chaos as they're coming on in. But these guys, they can make it in normally. You see like Larry Hagan's making it down pit road. These guys are all making it down pit road, but they just don't decide. They decide to come in immediately when someone's on their inside, and it screws them up. I don't know what the heck that was, but as we're entering the end of testing, Jay Jefferson all over the back of the 35. Fans have spoken. They want to see an onboard with it. So, of course, Jay Jefferson with the visor cam this weekend here at Dover since he's been the fastest, and it's nice to see that the gauge is a lot more technical inside the car here for the 48. But this is, I believe, a bit further up. You're going to see them spinning, and Jay is getting down off the throttle onto the inside. You see it. He hits the gas, hits the apron, and slides coming off. Nice drift and nice save by Jay on the visor cam there for this 48 this weekend. Back live, though. 4 minutes left. Jay Jefferson, Sebastian Kukulon, Jacob Edson, DJ Curtis, and Vince Friesen remain your top 5, with Colton Yeo, Zachary DeLello, Diego Yepes, Patrick Smith, and Carter Friesen your top 10. Further back, though, Porta and Burkhardt just outside of it as they go around, as I forgot that I enabled that. But the ticker will scroll through here at the end of testing. Jacob Edson coming back out with that 82, trying to get some got the repairs done to the 82. Stephen Wallace Jr., Brandon Morris making their final laps, trying to improve their lap times. They're 17th and 18th on track. Carson Bowers bringing that car back out. Carter Friesen bringing that car back out as well. 94, Dusty Neal pacing around. Now he is the slowest, as Tim Foster has picked up just a few, just about a 10th a lap there. He is now up to 21st quickest, so not the best for Tib, but 21st quickest is at least not last. So they're going to have to really dial in on these speedways. Tib has not been too good on the speedways, and there you see he's bringing it on in. I think that might be him calling it quits for this testing session. He improved a couple tenths, or a couple hundredths really, to a 22.106. So Tib, they got some setup that works. Just hoping that he will be able to improve on these speedways during the season. But Jay Jefferson, the fastest so far. What a surprise to anyone in that 48 car. But he is pacing on around, blistering speed. He's right now ran 67 laps, so they're really putting in that Dover, that testing for Dover, probably thinking it's on the schedule. But 68, 52, 56, 63, a lot of teams around 50 to 60 laps out here, and that's very good for them, getting a lot of experience, because this race would probably be about 100 laps if they do come to the Cup Series. So that is good to see. These guys are getting some race pace and all that done right now. And yeah, Brady Burkhardt's the only one to have had a mechanical failure this race. Porta and Burkhardt and Jefferson are going to war up here. Looked like Jay was trying to get a run on the outside. He will, as he's going to pull right up to the back of Burkhardt. Porta lets them both by as they go on through, but Jay with the fastest car on track. TSR is going to be a threat this season here in the NSDCA. Sebastian Kukulon, though, a great performance there. Put out a blistering lap, second quickest, big for RER. But as we come to the end of this testing session, just 2 minutes left. A lot of guys pulling it down onto pit road, not willing to risk crashing their cars out anymore. Some damage to Nicky Morris. If he pits this time, it's probably the exact same thing that happened before. No, he's not pitting, so wonder what that was on that one car. He might have had some contact with someone here, and we'll see. There's some. It might have been... Oh, it's actually Jay Jefferson. Nicky Morris is going to get down into the corner. He's just trying to hang on. He's not trying to come to pit road because he didn't pit, and Jay just runs right into the side of him and hits that number 1. So he was pacing around, took some laps with a damaged car still, and he's still out there. But Jay really just sent it in there, got some damage. Jay don't care. He's still putting down pretty solid lap times, even with a possible cut front tire from that. But 1 minute, 33 seconds left in this testing session. Some guys might shoot up to the top of the charts, so of course we'll keep it live here till the end of the testing session. But a lot of guys just pacing on around. It's been an exciting Dover test here, a couple incidents, but Jay Jefferson, of course, taking it up top. Sebastian Kukulon being an underdog up front. Jacob Edson, DJ Curtis, Vince Friesen, your top 5 right now as they continue to do their practice laps around. 1 minute left in testing as we got a battle up here between TSR, SBR, and they just blow by Alex Fletcher in the Smart Motorsports number 72. They are pacing on around. Larry Hagan actually going to get under Jay Jefferson. That's probably what Jay wants to see. Don't just sit there and let Jay go on. He wants to see his whole team get up there, compete for wins. So if Larry can pass him, never mind. Larry's going to pit. I think Jay called him into pit because he passed him. Going on around, Burkhardt. Burkhardt, Neal, they were pretty slow. Neal will end this testing session the slowest most likely unless he can pick up some spots, but he's been on those tires for a bit. Probably just running some race pace now, getting some tire data, so it doesn't look like Neal's going to pick up much speed. 22.127 will be his slowest lap time compared to Jay's 21.883. Just about 4/10 separate these these 23 drivers. And Patrick Smith, of course, a great run today. 9th quickest, going to pick him up an extra EUP to spend during ratings day. It's going to be great to see that 47 team possibly improve with Matthew Eves, as well as their MDCS team with Smith running as well as he did here. The one car seems pretty slow. Might be that damage on the side. Foster and Porta going at it right there. And Foster actually has brought it back out. But 14 seconds left. The testing session coming to a close. Jay Jefferson, fastest with Sebastian Kukulon. Jacob Edson, DJ Curtis, Vince Friesen. Behind them is Colton Yo, Zachary DeLello, Diego Yepes, Patrick Smith, Carter Friesen, your top 10. Porta, Burkhart, Bowers, Goforth, and Nicky Morris, your top 15. On Jack, SWJ, SWJ Morris, and the 21 of Hagan, and Gatlin Downey. That is your top 20. Tib Foster, Alex Fletcher, and Dusty Neal taking out the bottom group of drivers. An exciting 30 minutes here at Dover. We'll be heading to the CRTS test soon, probably today or tomorrow. It's today in Universe, but probably tomorrow. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time on the NSDCA.